tu hijo y esa cosa una pregunta y de repente toda polémica.
I've got a flag in the middle.
Okay, next little bit.
Make a picture of it.
Yeah, but it had
Okay, so we're okay with that. Lovely. Now we want to add a little bit more detail and depth to that. I'm just bringing our technician one second.
transparent bottom on this one. That one.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. You don't have to hold it that long. You just click it.
so that.
Now we want to add a bit more detail and depth to what we're trying to do. So I'm going to need a volunteer in a moment. Okay? First thing I want to do is, first thing happened in 1961 was that window closed, and then JFK, he made his speech saying he wants to demand the moon by the end of the decade. A certain, for example, if I want to go to the moon, or a certain planet like Uranus or Jupiter, somewhere like that, it would allow me to go off there and I can explore a little bit more. And if I press I, it will give me more detail about that particular planet.
We're kind of going down a different route here. Should we think a little bit more about the teaching and learning again? So we've looked at Andrew. Any other thoughts on what Andrew was doing there? What about Emma, the second teacher? Emma was saying things like, I'm using it in a classroom for some internet-based research. I can now email my students' work. They can email me back.
One of the things that she did say was like, oh, it's really good to have like using Safari. And that meant like the first thing that popped into my head was there's a lot of teachers out there who like think they're an amazing tool to use, but they don't use it properly. So it could just be a research-based thing which you could do on a computer anyway, and sort of loses its appeal.
Exactly, and a lot of schools think that. We'll give these to the teachers and the children, and they'll just start teaching with them. And they don't. They tend to do things like that. They use it for Safari. They'll use it for email. Some of them get as far as a diary. I was saying this earlier. Some gets Facebook. Most of them get to Candy Crush. And that's about as far as it goes. But to do the kind of things you were doing this morning, training is really key to it. And all the schools who are already doing this, if you ask them if there's one area they needed to focus on more than they perhaps did, it's always the training. And that's working with the teachers, working with the leadership team. Sometimes it's also working with the children, just to model it and show the teachers what can be done.
It might sound crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. And I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel
undefined, and we will get used to the idea that at infinity the gravitational potential energy is zero. But whenever we deal with near-Earth situations, like in 26100, then of course it is way more convenient to deal with the simplification that the difference in gravitational potential energy is given by MGH. I always remember that. MGH, Massachusetts General Hospital, that's the best way that you can remember these simple things.
In one of the lessons where I'd used both boards fully and it was all interconnected and interlinked. So it was a way of just saying visually, this is what we've gone through, and I had every point from the lesson on there, and so that's one step forward. But really to improve it even further, there's an app that I think you can write on the tablet and record at the same time.
Yeah.
So my next step forward, when the budget allows,
Yeah, it showed me and things like that. It's used before. So
the next step forward for me would be to have a tablet, have myself being recorded and write on the tablet instead of writing on the board, but having the tablet connected to the board at the same time, so that when I post it, like I say, there would be audio and visual for them to catch up on. So as a visual communicator, especially with diagrams, because I find for theology often the concepts are best described using diagrams. So when I draw a diagram, I'll draw it on the tablet, they'll have my audio explanation at the same time, and then I'll post it all up on the VLE later, and then they can just follow the lesson exactly.
But you would definitely say that the problem, well, not the problem, but the thing he wants to improve on is that his legs, he's obviously had a knee transplant or something, they're very straight. Whereas if you look at the perfect model, he's bending his knees to get the power. That's where he generates the power when he's serving.
You can put an exemplary video there. So
so I've just done it. Mine's just a poster. What you can do is if you take a video of a perfect model, play them sync so they sync, and then like again slow-mo, pause it. Then you can obviously compare the two videos.
Do they play at the same time, or can you play one?
You can adjust it, so you can adjust it. Yeah.